When my grandmother died, I thought my family would be there for me. I was wrong. Instead of coming to her funeral, they all went to my sister's birthday party. Mom, Dad, my brother Kevin, even my aunts and uncles. They left me to bury the only person who ever loved me, completely alone. I sat in that empty funeral home wondering why I always felt like an outsider in my own family. Why I looked different from everyone else. Why they treated me like I didn't belong. But the next day, everything changed. The lawyer called us all in for the will reading. That's when I learned the truth about who I really am. That's when I discovered the shocking secret my family had been hiding from me for 26 years. What I found out will make you question everything you think you know about family. And when you learn what they did to cover up their crimes, you'll understand why some secrets are worth millions of dollars. But here's what I need you to ask yourself. What would you do if you discovered your entire life was a lie? And how far would you go to get justice for the person who truly loved you? I'm sitting in my car outside the funeral home, watching people I barely know walk in to say goodbye to Grandma Rose. My hands shake as I check my phone for the 10th time. Still, no messages from my family. The parking lot is almost empty, just 3 cars, mine, Mr. Chen, the funeral director's, and an old blue truck that belongs to Mrs. Patterson from next door to Grandma's house. This isn't how it was supposed to be. Today was supposed to be about honoring the woman who raised me when my parents were too busy fighting to notice I existed. Today was supposed to be about remembering all the Saturday afternoons we spent baking cookies and painting pictures. Today was supposed to be about saying goodbye to the only person who ever made me feel like I belonged somewhere. Instead, my sister Melody is having her 25th birthday party at the same exact time as Grandma's funeral. And my family chose the party. "We can't miss Melody's big day," Mom had said on the phone yesterday. Her voice sounded tired, like she was already done with the conversation before it started. Grandma would understand. She'd want us to celebrate life, not mourn death. But I know the truth. Grandma Rose wouldn't understand. She'd be heartbroken, just like I am right now. "It's just one day," Dad had added when he took the phone from Mom. "Melody only turns 25 once. There will be other times to remember Grandma." Other times? What other times? She's dead. This is it. This is the only time we get to say goodbye properly. "But I need you there," I had whispered into the phone. "I can't do this alone." "You're 26 years old, Nora," Mom said, taking the phone back. "You can handle a funeral by yourself. Besides, Melody's been planning this party for months." Months. They've known about this party for months, but somehow forgot that today was Grandma's funeral. I take a deep breath and get out of my car. The October air is cold, and I pull my black coat tighter around me. I wish Grandma was here to tell me everything would be okay. She always knew what to say when I felt scared or alone. But she's not here anymore. And neither is anyone else who's supposed to love me. I walk into the funeral home, and Mr. Chen gives me a sad smile. He's a small man with kind eyes and gentle hands. He helped me pick out Grandma's casket when I couldn't stop crying. Long enough to make decisions. "Where's the rest of your family, Nora?" he asks softly. My throat feels tight. They couldn't make it. He nods like he understands, but I can see the confusion in his eyes. What kind of family misses their grandmother's funeral? The kind of family I have, apparently. The service is small. Just me, Mrs. Patterson, Mrs. Garcia, who lives down the street from Grandma, and a man in a dark suit who I don't recognize. He sits in the back and takes notes in a small book. Pastor Williams talks about Grandma Rose like he knew her well, but I can tell he's reading from notes. He talks about her kindness, her faith, her love for her family. Every word makes my Heart hurt worse. I wish I could stand up and tell everyone the real stories. Like how Grandma taught me to paint when I was 7 because she said I had artist hands. Or how she always made my favorite chocolate chip pancakes when I came to visit on Saturdays. Or how she was the only one who remembered my high school graduation because my parents were at Kevin's baseball tournament that same day. But I don't say anything. I just sit there and cry while strangers say goodbye to the most important person in my life. After the service, they take Grandma's casket to the cemetery. I follow behind in my car, alone. The cemetery is quiet except for the sound of wind through the trees. As they lower Grandma's casket into the ground, I cry harder than I've ever cried in my life. I think about all the times she held me when I was scared, all the cookies we baked together, all the stories she told me about our family's past, stories my parents never wanted to hear. "I'm sorry they didn't come, Grandma," I whisper. "I'm sorry you have to be buried with only me here." When it's over, the man in the dark suit walks up to me. He's older, maybe 60, with gray hair and serious eyes. "Nora Thompson?" he asks. "Yes?" "I'm Mr. Pemberton, your grandmother's lawyer. I need to speak with you about her will. Can you come to my office tomorrow at 2 p.m.? I wipe my tears with the back of my hand. "Will my family be there too?" He gives me a strange look, like he knows something I don't. His eyes seem almost excited. But that can't be right. This is a funeral. "Oh yes," he says slowly. "They'll definitely be there." As I drive home, I pass by Romano's, the fancy Italian restaurant where Melody's party is happening. Through the big windows, I can see my whole family laughing and dancing. Mom is wearing a bright red dress. Dad is telling jokes and making everyone laugh. Melody is in the center of it all, wearing a sparkly gold dress and a crown that says, "Birthday Queen." Kevin is there too, taking pictures with his expensive camera. All my aunts and uncles are there. Even my cousins drove in from out of state for a birthday party. None of them are thinking about Grandma Rose. None of them are thinking about me. I sit in my car and watch them celebrate while my heart breaks into a million pieces. How can they be so happy while I'm falling apart? How can they laugh and dance on the day we buried the woman who loved us all? But tomorrow, everything will change. Mr. Pemberton's strange look keeps replaying in my mind. Something about the way he said, "They'll definitely be there," makes my stomach flutter with nerves. I just don't know how much everything will change. I don't know that tomorrow will be the day I learn the truth about who I really am. Right now, I sit in my empty apartment, still wearing my black funeral dress. The silence feels heavy, like a blanket made of sadness. I keep checking my phone, hoping someone will call to ask how the funeral went. Nobody calls. My apartment feels smaller tonight. The walls seem to press in around me as I look at the few pictures I have of Grandma Rose and me. There's one from last Christmas where we're both laughing at something Dad said. Back then, I thought we were all one big happy family. Now I know better. Around 9 p.m., I finally get a text from Kevin. "Hope you're okay, sis. Party was amazing. Melody got a car." A car. They bought her a car while I buried our grandmother. Alone. I stare at the text for a long time. Kevin calls me sis, but does he really mean it? When was the last time any of them acted like I was really their sister? I don't sleep that night. Instead, I look through old photo albums Grandma Rose gave me over the years. Picture after picture of her smiling, holding me as a baby, teaching me to garden. When I was 8, helping with homework at her kitchen table. In every family photo, there's a pattern I never noticed before. In the old pictures, when I was little, everyone looked happy together. But something changed. When I turned 10, the newer photos show two groups, Mom, Dad, Melody, and Kevin on one side, Then me and Grandma Rose on the other side. Like we were already separated, even back then. I find a letter tucked between the pages, written in Grandma's shaky handwriting. Dear Nora, if you're reading this, then I'm gone and you're probably feeling very alone right now. But remember what I always told you. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones who teach us who we really are. You are stronger than you know, my dear girl, and you are loved more than you realize. The truth has a way of coming out, especially in my family. Wait for it. Love always, Grandma Rose. Wait for what? What truth? I read the letter 3 more times before I finally fall asleep on my couch, still wearing my funeral dress. The next morning, my phone finally rings. It's Mom. Nora, honey, we need to talk about yesterday. You mean how you all chose a birthday party over Grandma's funeral? Mom gets quiet for a few seconds. I can hear voices in the background, probably the family cleaning up from the party I wasn't invited to. It wasn't like that, she says finally. We just thought. You thought what, Mom? That I could handle burying the only person who ever really cared about me all by myself? Nora, that's not fair. We all cared about Grandma Rose. Really? Then where were you yesterday? Where were Dad and Kevin and Melody? Where were Aunt Lisa and Uncle Tom? Where was anybody? Mom gets quiet again. Then she says, Mr. Pemberton called. We have to be at his office at 2 p.m. for the will reading. We'll see you there. She hangs up before I can respond. I spend the morning at Grandma's empty house, packing up her things like Mr. Pemberton asked me to do. Everything smells like her lavender perfume and old books. The house feels so quiet without her humming in the kitchen or calling my name from the garden. In her bedroom, I find more photos hidden in a drawer. These pictures are really old, and there's a young woman in them who looks exactly like me. Same dark hair, same brown eyes, same small nose. But I don't recognize her. At the bottom of the pile, there's a birth certificate with a name I don't know. Elena Rosewood Martinez. My heart starts beating fast. Why does Grandma have someone else's birth certificate? And why does this Elena person look so much like me? The birth date shows she was born in 1972, which would make her about 50 now. But in the photos, she looks young, maybe in her 20s. I stuff the certificate in my purse just as my phone buzzes. It's a text from Melody. Can't wait to see what Grandma left us. Hope it's something good. Maybe enough for a vacation. My stomach turns. Even now, even after missing her funeral, they're only thinking about money. But something about that birth certificate bothers me. Martinez isn't our family name. We're Thompsons. So who is Elena Martinez, and why did Grandma keep her birth certificate? I look through more drawers and find a small jewelry box I've never seen before. Inside is a silver ring with a small green stone. Under the ring is another note in Grandma's handwriting, for Elena's daughter, when she's ready to know the truth. Elena's daughter? What does that mean? As I lock up Grandma's house for the last time, I whisper, I'm sorry they didn't come, Grandma. But I was there. I'll always be there for you. I don't know it yet, but those words will mean more than I could ever imagine. Driving to Mr. Pemberton's office. I pass Romano's again. The restaurant looks normal now. No sign that a birthday party happened there yesterday. No sign that my family chose celebration over saying goodbye. My phone rings. It's Kevin. Hey, Nora, you doing okay today? I'm fine. Look, about yesterday, I'm sorry we couldn't make it to the funeral. The party was already planned and… It's fine, Kevin. No, it's not fine. I should have been there. We all should have been there. For a moment, I think Kevin might actually understand. But then he says, but Melody would have been so hurt if we missed her party. You know how she gets. Yes, I know how Melody gets. She gets everything she wants, always. I have to go, I tell Kevin. I'm almost at the lawyer's office. Yeah. About that. Do you know what this is about? The will reading? No idea. Well, hopefully Grandma left us something nice. Maybe enough to help with my student loans. Even Kevin is thinking about money. I hang up and park outside Mr. Pemberton's office. Through the window, I can see my family's cars already there. They made it on time for the will reading, even though they couldn't make it to the funeral. The truth is waiting for me inside that building. And it's going to change everything I thought I knew about my family. But mostly, it's going to change everything I thought I knew about myself. Mr. Pemberton's office feels like a courtroom. The air is thick and heavy, and everyone sits far apart from each other. Mom and Dad take the chairs closest to the lawyer's desk, like they're the most important people here. Melody sits next to them, still wearing jewelry from her birthday party yesterday. Kevin slouches in the corner playing with his phone. I sit alone on the other side of the room. The office smells like old books and coffee. There are law books everywhere, and Mr. Pemberton's desk is covered with papers. He looks more serious today than he did at the funeral. His gray hair is combed back, and he wears small glasses that make his eyes look bigger. Thank you all for coming, Mr. Pemberton says, opening a thick folder. I know this is a difficult time. Not really, Melody says with a shrug. Grandma was old. It was her time. I feel like someone punched me in the stomach. How can she say that? How can she be so cold about the woman who loved us all? Mom and Dad don't even tell her to be quiet. Mr. Pemberton looks at Melody with cold eyes. I see. Well, let's begin with the reading of Rose Elena Martinez's last will and testament. Wait, Martinez? Grandma's last name was Thompson, like ours. At least, that's what I always thought. I think about the birth certificate I found yesterday, Elena Martinez. The same last name. First, Mr. Pemberton continues, Mrs. Martinez wanted me to address the family's absence from her funeral yesterday. Mom shifts in her chair. Her face turns a little red. We had a prior commitment, a family celebration. Yes, I'm aware. Mrs. Martinez was also aware. She called me the day before she died and made some changes to her will based on that information. The room gets very quiet. Dad leans forward and his eyes get big. What kind of changes? We'll get to that. First, let me read her final letter to the family. Mr. Pemberton puts on his glasses and clears his throat. He unfolds a piece of paper covered in Grandma's handwriting. To my family, he reads, I'm writing this knowing that some of you will choose Melody's birthday party over my funeral. I am not surprised. For years, I have watched you treat my dear Nora like she doesn't belong, like she's less important than the rest of you. What you don't know is why. My heart starts pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. Mom and Dad look at each other with worried faces. Kevin stops playing with his phone. The letter continues, Nora, my sweet girl, you have always wondered why you look different from your siblings, why you feel like an outsider in your own family. The truth is, you are not their blood relative. The words hit me like a truck. I can't breathe. Everyone in the room gasps. Melody drops her phone and it clatters on the floor. What does that mean? I whisper. Mr. Pemberton keeps reading, his voice steady and calm. 26 years ago, my daughter. Elena was in a terrible car accident. She was pregnant with you, Nora. The doctors could save only one of you. Elena chose to save you, her baby daughter. She died giving you life. Tears start falling down my face, but I can barely breathe. Elena, the woman in the photos, the birth certificate. She was my real mother. Elena was my only child, Mr. Pemberton continues reading. When she died, I begged my nephew Robert and his wife Susan to adopt you and raise you as their own daughter. Robert. That's Dad's name. Susan is Mom. But they're not my real parents. I look at Dad, at Robert, and his face is purple with anger. Mom, Susan, looks scared, like she wants to run away. They agreed, the letter goes on, but only if I paid for everything. Your food, clothes, school, medical bills, everything. I have been supporting you financially for your entire life, which is why I could never leave you money in my will like I planned. Paid for everything? They got money to raise me? But I found another way to take care of you, my dear granddaughter. Because you are my granddaughter, my flesh and blood, the only family I have left. Mr. Pemberton stops reading and looks directly at me. Nora, your grandmother has left you everything. The house, the land, the bank accounts, all the investments, everything. How much is everything? Kevin asks, his voice squeaky. The total estate is valued at approximately $2.8 million. Melody screams like someone hurt her. That's not fair. We're family too. Actually, Mr. Pemberton says calmly, according to the will, you are not family. You are the people who took money to raise Mrs. Martinez's granddaughter, then treated her poorly for 26 years. Dad, Robert stands up so fast his chair falls over. His face is purple with anger. This is crazy. We raised her. We fed her. We gave her a home. You did what you were paid to do, Mr. Pemberton interrupts. Mrs. Martinez has detailed records of every payment she made to you over the years. The total comes to over $400,000. $400,000. They got paid almost $500,000 to raise me, and they still made me feel unwanted. Mom stops crying and stares at me with hate in her eyes. You knew, didn't you? You knew she would leave you everything. I didn't know anything, I whisper. My voice sounds far away, like it's coming from someone else. But then I remember the birth certificate I found. Elena Rosewood Martinez. My real mother's name. And the ring with the note about Elena's daughter. Maybe deep down, I did know something was different. There's more, Mr. Pemberton says. Mrs. Martinez discovered that you've been telling Nora she was ungrateful and difficult her whole life. She has recordings. He presses play on a small device on his desk. Mom's voice fills the room, clear as day. I don't know why Rose spoils that girl so much. She's not even really family. We're just doing Rose a favor by keeping her. Then Dad's voice. The old lady pays us enough to deal with Nora's drama. Just let Rose handle her. Then Kevin. Nora's so weird. Thank God she's not actually our sister. And finally, Melody. I hope when Grandma dies, she doesn't leave anything to Nora. She doesn't deserve it. Each word cuts through me like a knife, but I also feel something else. Relief. Finally, I understand why I never felt like I belonged. Because I didn't belong. I was never really part of their family. The will is final and cannot be contested, Mr. Pemberton says. Nora, I'll need to meet with you privately tomorrow to discuss the details of your inheritance. As my adoptive family storms toward the door, Mom, Susan, turns back to me one last time. You'll regret this, Nora. Family is family, no matter what some old lady's will says. But she's wrong. I know what family really feels like now. It feels like Grandma Rose's hugs. It feels like belonging. It feels like love. And for the first time in my life, I'm not alone. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But sitting in Mr. Pemberton's office after my adoptive family storms out, I don't feel like I'm anywhere at all. I feel like I'm floating in space, watching my life from far away. My hands won't stop shaking, and I keep reading Elena's birth certificate over and over. Elena Rosewood Martinez, born March 15, 1972, died October 8, 1998. The day after, I was born. This is a lot to process. Mr. Pemberton says gently. He pours me a glass of water from a pitcher on his desk. Do you have any questions? I have a million questions, but I can only think of one. How long did Grandma Rose know that my adoptive family didn't really want me? Mr. Pemberton sighs and takes off his glasses. He looks older now, tired. She's been documenting their treatment of you for years. She hired a private investigator last year when she started getting sicker. She wanted to make sure she understood the full situation before she died. He opens a file cabinet and pulls out a thick folder. These are copies of everything. Bank records showing the payments she made to Robert and Susan. Photos of you at school events, where you were sitting alone while they cheered for Melody and Kevin. Even recordings from when she visited their house and they didn't know she was. Listening. I open the folder with trembling hands. There are dozens of photos of me looking sad and left out at family gatherings, school plays, birthday parties. In every single picture, there's a clear divide. Them together, me apart. One photo shows me at my high school graduation. I'm standing by myself in my cap and gown, smiling for the camera. But my eyes look sad. In the background, I can see the Thompson family taking pictures with Kevin in his baseball uniform. They chose his tournament over my graduation. She loved you so much, Nora, Mr. Pemberton says quietly. Every conversation I had with her was about making sure you'd be okay after she was gone. But why didn't she ever tell me the truth? She wanted to. But she was afraid that if Robert and Susan knew you knew, they might kick you out before you were old enough to take care of yourself. She was protecting you the only way she knew how. I think about all those Saturday afternoons at Grandma's house, just the two of us. How she always asked about school, about friends, about my dreams. How she never asked about the Thompson family. Now I know why. There's something else, Mr. Pemberton says. Your grandmother left you letters. One for every birthday she'll miss, starting with your 27th birthday next month. He hands me a wooden box with my name carved on top. The wood is smooth and dark, and it smells like Grandma's house. Inside are dozens of sealed envelopes, each one marked with a different age, 27, 28, 29, all the way up to 60. She spent the last 2 years of her life writing these. The first envelope, marked 27, feels heavy in my hands. I open it carefully, like it might break. My dearest Nora, it begins in Grandma's shaky handwriting. If you're reading this, then you know the truth about who you are. You are Elena's daughter, which means you are my granddaughter in every way that matters. Your mother was the most beautiful, kind, intelligent woman I ever knew. She loved you before you were even born, and she died making sure you would live. I have to stop reading because I'm crying too hard to see the words. Mr. Pemberton hands me tissues. Take your time. I keep reading. I know this is overwhelming. I know learning that Robert and Susan were paid to raise you must hurt terribly. But I want you to understand something important. Your mother chose them because she thought they would love you like their own daughter. She was wrong, but her heart was in the right place. The letter goes on. You have always been different from them, my dear girl. You have your mother's artistic soul, her gentle heart, her strength. You get frustrated with them because you see the world differently. That's not a flaw. That's a gift. At the bottom, there's a PS. Check the secret compartment in my jewelry. Ox, your mother left something for you. I look up at Mr. Pemberton. Can I go to her house now? It's your house now, Nora. You can do whatever you want. The drive to Grandma's house, my house, feels like a dream. I keep expecting to wake up back in my tiny apartment, still the unwanted adopted daughter who buried her grandmother alone. But it's real. The house key fits in my hand like it was always meant to be there. Inside, everything smells like lavender and old books, just like always. But now it feels different. It feels like home. In Grandma's bedroom, I find the jewelry box. On her dresser. It's made of dark wood with tiny painted flowers on the lid. I've seen it 1,000 times, but I never knew about a secret compartment. I press on different spots until I hear a small click. A hidden drawer slides out from the bottom. Inside is a small velvet bag and another letter, this one written in different handwriting. For my daughter, from your mother, Elena. My hands shake as I open the letter. My sweet baby girl, if you're reading this, then I am gone and you are grown up. I want you to know that choosing to save your life was the easiest decision I ever made. You are my greatest joy, my most precious gift to the world. I don't know what kind of life you'll have, but I know you'll be strong because you are part of me and part of your Grandma Rose. We are fighters, we Martinez women. We survive. In the bag is my mother's ring, your great-grandmother's ring. It's been in our family for 4 generations. Wear it and remember that you come from a long line of women who loved deeply and lived bravely. Inside the velvet bag is the most beautiful ring I've ever seen. It's silver with a small emerald surrounded by tiny diamonds. When I put it on my right hand, it fits perfectly. For the first time since yesterday's funeral, I smile. I walk through the house, my house, looking at everything with new eyes. The paintings on the walls aren't just decorations, they're my inheritance. The books on the shelves aren't just fun stories, they're my family's history. The garden outside isn't just pretty, it's where my grandmother taught me to grow things, where my real grandmother taught me to grow. My phone starts ringing. It's Susan. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Nora, we need to talk. Do we? This whole thing is crazy. You know we love you, right? You know you'll always be our daughter? I think about the recordings Mr. Pemberton played. About 26 years of feeling like I didn't belong. About missing Grandma's funeral for a birthday party. No, Susan, I don't know that. And after yesterday, I don't think I want to. Don't call me Susan. I'm your mother. My mother died saving my life 26 years ago. You were just the woman who got paid to raise me. I hang up and turn off my phone. For the first time in my life, I'm truly alone, but I'm not lonely anymore. I'm home. 3 days later, I'm sitting in my new kitchen drinking coffee when someone pounds on the front door. Through the window, I can see Kevin's car in the driveway. I don't want to talk to any of them, but they're not going away. Kevin keeps knocking and ringing, the doorbell like he's trying to wake up the whole neighborhood. Nora, open up. We know you're in there. Finally, I open the door. Kevin pushes past me into the house, followed by Melody and Susan. Robert stays on the porch looking uncomfortable and avoiding my eyes. Nice place, Melody says, looking around like she's shopping for furniture. Her eyes move from the expensive paintings to the crystal vases to the antique chairs. Must be worth a lot of money. What do you want? Susan steps forward, trying to smile, but her smile looks fake, like she's trying to sell me something. We want to fix this, honey. We're family. Are we? Because 3 days ago, you missed my grandmother's funeral to celebrate Melody's birthday. And yesterday I found out you've been getting paid to tolerate me my whole life. That money was for raising you, Kevin snaps. His face gets red and he waves his hands around. Do you know how expensive kids are? Food, clothes, doctor visits, school supplies. We spent way more than $400,000 on you. Then you should have said no when Grandma Rose asked you to adopt me. Susan's fake smile disappears. Look, we made mistakes, but we're still your family, and this house is way too big for just you. I look around at the house I've lived in for 3 days. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a big kitchen, and a living room with a fireplace. It's definitely bigger than my tiny apartment. What's your point? We think we should all live here together, Melody says, crossing her arms, like a real family. I almost laugh. After 26 years of making me feel unwanted, now they want to live with me? You want to move into my house? It's not really your house, Kevin says. He looks around like he owns the place already. I mean, legally it is, but morally, we raised you. We deserve something. You got something. You got $400,000 over 26 years. Robert finally speaks up from the doorway. He looks older than he did 3 days ago, like he's aged years in just a few days. Nora, be reasonable. We're not asking for money. We just want to be close to you. Where was this desire to be close to me when I was eating lunch alone at school every day? Where was it when I graduated high school and none of you came to the ceremony because it was the same day as Kevin's baseball tournament? Susan's face gets red. We've been good parents to you. No, you've been paid caregivers. There's a difference. That's when Melody shows her true colors. Her fake sweet voice disappears, and she gets mean and ugly. Fine, you want to know. The truth? We never wanted you. Mom couldn't have more kids after Kevin, and then suddenly we had to take in some random baby because the old lady guilted us into it. Melody! Susan hisses like she's embarrassed. What? She already knows. Rose ruined our family by forcing us to adopt her, and now she's trying to ruin us again from the grave. I feel strangely calm, like all my anger just drained away and left me peaceful. Get out. What? Get out of my house, all of you. You can't just throw us away, Susan cries. Real tears start falling down her face. We're your family. My family is buried at Riverside Cemetery. My family was the woman who held me when I had nightmares, who taught me to bake cookies, who came to every school play even when you didn't. I walk to the door and hold it open. You have 5 minutes to leave before I call the police. Kevin gets in my face. He's taller than me, and he tries to use his size to scare me. You'll regret this, Nora. Family is family. Then why didn't you treat me like family? After they leave, I call Mr. Pemberton. They came here demanding to move in, I tell him. Can they do that? Absolutely not. The house is yours, period. But Nora, I should warn you, they might try to make things difficult for you. What do you mean? Sometimes when people lose out on inheritance money, they get creative. They might try to claim you're not mentally fit to handle the money. They might spread lies about you in town. Just be careful and call me if anything strange happens. That night, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what Melody said. Rose ruined our family by forcing us to adopt her. But as I lie in bed in what used to be Grandma Rose's room, I realize something important. Grandma Rose didn't ruin their family. She revealed what kind of family they already were. If they had been good people, they would have loved me because I needed love. Instead, they took money to raise me and still made me feel unwanted. The next morning, I'm watering the garden when my neighbor, Mrs. Kim, comes over. She's a small Korean woman who's lived next door for 20 years. She always waves when she sees me, but we've never really talked. I heard about your grandmother. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you. She was so proud of you, you know, always talking about her granddaughter, the artist. I stop watering the flowers. She called me her granddaughter? Mrs. Kim nods. Every day, she'd show me pictures of your paintings and say, my granddaughter has such talent. It was never my adopted granddaughter or anything like that. Just my granddaughter. After Mrs. Kim leaves, I go inside and really look at the house for the first time. There are my paintings hanging on the walls, paintings I gave Grandma Rose over the years. There are photos of just me and her everywhere, not a single picture of the Thompson family. This was always my home. I just didn't know it. My phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. Hello? Is this Nora Martinez? Martinez, my real name. It still sounds strange to hear it. Yes. This is Detective Morrison with the Riverside Police. We had a report that you're holding property that doesn't belong to you. My heart sinks. They called the police on me. What property? A house on Maple Street. The caller said you're illegally living in it. I inherited that house. I have the will and the deed. Can you come down to the station? We need to sort this out. At the police station, Detective Morrison looks embarrassed. He's a middle-aged man with kind eyes, who seems like he doesn't want to be dealing with this. I'm sorry to drag you down here. Your family seems to think there's been some kind of mistake with the inheritance. There's no mistake. My grandmother left me everything. That's what the lawyer said when I called him. Your family also filed a report claiming you've stolen some jewelry. What jewelry? A silver ring with an emerald? I looked down at my great-grandmother's ring. This belonged to my great-grandmother. My real mother left it for me. Detective Morrison sighs. Look, between you and me, this seems like a family dispute over money. But legally, everything checks out. The house is yours, the jewelry is yours. However, your family is pretty upset. They might keep causing problems. You might want to think about getting a restraining order. A restraining order against the people who raised me. As I drive home, I think about how different my life might have been if Grandma Rose had told me the truth earlier. Maybe I wouldn't have spent so many years trying to win their love. Maybe I wouldn't have felt so broken and unwanted. But maybe I needed to go through all of that to appreciate what I have now. When I get home, there's a letter taped to my front door. It's from Susan. Nora, you're making a terrible mistake. We are your family, no matter what some old woman's will says. When you realize how alone you are, we might not be here to take you back. Think carefully about what you're throwing away. I crumple up the letter and throw it in the trash. Then I go inside my house, sit in my grandmother's favorite chair, and open the second letter. She wrote me, the one marked Birthday Thoughts. My dear girl, it begins. If you're reading this, then you've learned the truth and you're probably feeling overwhelmed. Remember that being alone and being lonely are two different things. You were lonely when you lived with people who didn't understand your value. Now you're alone, but you're not lonely anymore because you finally know who you are. She was right. I'm not lonely anymore. 2 weeks later, I'm painting in what used to be Grandma Rose's sewing room when I hear a car door slam outside. I peek through the curtains and see a woman I don't recognize walking up to my front door. She's about 40 with dark hair like mine and kind eyes. She moves slowly, like she's nervous or scared. When she knocks, it's gentle, not demanding. Like when the Thompson family came by. Are you Nora? She asks when I open the door. Yes? I'm Sophia Martinez. I think I'm your aunt. My heart stops. My aunt? Your mother, Elena, was my older sister. I've been looking for you for 26 years. I invite her in, and we sit in the living room where Grandma Rose and I used to read together. Sophia looks around with tears in her eyes, touching the furniture like she's remembering something precious. This looks exactly the same as when I was little. Aunt Rose always kept everything perfect. You knew Grandma Rose? She was my father's sister. Elena and I grew up visiting this house every summer. Sophia pulls out her phone and shows me a picture. This is your mother when she was your age. I gasp. The woman in the photo looks exactly like me, but happier. She's laughing at something off camera, and her whole face glows with joy. Her hair falls the same way mine does, and she has the same small nose and brown eyes. Elena was the most loving person I ever knew, Sophia continues. When she got pregnant with you, she was so excited. She had names picked out, nursery colors chosen, everything planned. What happened the night she died? Sophia takes a deep breath and wipes her eyes. She was driving to pick up your crib. Some drunk driver ran a red light and hit her car. The doctors said the impact should have killed you both instantly, but somehow Elena managed to protect you with her body. She lived just long enough for them to deliver you safely. I start crying. My mother died protecting me before I was even born. I never knew any of this. Aunt Rose made Robert and Susan promise never to tell you about the accident. She thought it would be too traumatic. But Nora, there's something else you need to know. Sophia reaches into her purse and pulls out another envelope. This one looks old and yellowed. The day before Elena died, she wrote this letter. She was going to give it to you on your 18th birthday. But after the accident, Aunt Rose was so devastated that she forgot about it. I found it in Elena's things when I was cleaning out her apartment. The letter is addressed to my daughter in my mother's handwriting. The ink is faded, but I can still read every word. My beautiful baby girl, it begins. I'm writing this while you're sleeping in my belly. You've been kicking all day, like you can't wait to meet the world. I can't wait to meet you either. I want you to know that you were planned, wanted, and loved before you were even born. Your father was a good man who died in the military before he knew about you, but he would have loved you too. My father was a soldier. I never knew anything about him before. I hope by the time you read this, you'll understand how much you mean to me. You are my greatest achievement, my proudest moment, my deepest love. No matter what happens, no matter where life takes you, remember that your mama loves you more than all the stars in the sky. At the bottom, there's a PS. I've left instructions with Aunt Rose about your trust fund. It should be enough to pay for college and help you start your adult life. Use it to follow your dreams, Misha. I look up at Sophia. What trust fund? Her face goes dark. The trust fund that Robert and Susan stole? What? Elena left you $50,000 in a trust fund to be given to you on your 18th birthday. Aunt Rose was supposed to manage it, but she was so grief-stricken after Elena died that she let Robert handle the legal stuff. He convinced her to let him be the trustee. My head starts spinning. They stole my money? Not just your money, your mother's money. Elena had a life insurance policy that was supposed to go to you too. Another $75,000. I feel sick. All those years of them complaining about how expensive I was to raise, and they had stolen $125,000 that was meant for me. So they got paid to raise me, and they stole my inheritance money? That's why I've been looking for you. I hired a lawyer to investigate after Aunt Rose stopped returning my calls 2 years ago. We discovered that Robert forged documents claiming the trust fund was used for your care and education, but there's no proof of where the money actually went. I think about Melody's new car, Kevin's expensive clothes, the family vacations I never went on because there wasn't enough money for everyone. They spent my money on themselves while making me feel like a burden. Can we get it back? With interest and penalties, they owe you about $200,000. My lawyer is already preparing the case. That night, after Sophia leaves, I call Mr. Pemberton and tell him everything. I'm not surprised, he says. Rose suspected something like this. That's why she hired the private investigator. She found evidence that they were lying about their finances. Why didn't she tell me? She wanted to, but she was afraid they would hurt you if they knew she was investigating them. She planned to give you all the evidence after you got your inheritance so you could decide what to do with it. The next morning, I wake up to find my car tires slashed. All 4 of them are flat, and there's a note on my windshield written in angry handwriting. Stop digging up the past, or it will get worse. I call Detective Morrison, and he comes out to take a report. This is escalating, he says, looking at my ruined tires. Are you sure you don't want that restraining order? I'm sure now. While I'm waiting for the tow truck, Mrs. Kim comes over with a worried look on her face. I saw someone in your driveway around 3 a.m., she says. Young man, tall, kind of skinny. He was doing something to your car. Kevin. That afternoon, Sophia comes back with her lawyer, a sharp-looking woman named Ms. Chen. She wears a dark suit and carries a briefcase full of papers. We've filed a civil lawsuit against Robert and Susan Thompson for theft, fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty, Ms. Chen explains. We're also pressing criminal charges. Will I get my money back? You'll get every penny, plus damages. But Nora, there's something else. Something bigger. Sophia and Ms. Chen look at each other like they're sharing a secret. What? Ms. Chen opens her briefcase and pulls out a thick file. We've been investigating your mother's accident. The drunk driver who hit her was never caught. Never caught? The police report says he fled the scene. But we found evidence that the police investigation was incomplete. Sophia leans forward, her voice quiet and serious. The drunk driver was Kevin Thompson Sr., Robert's father. The room starts spinning. I feel like I might throw up. What? Kevin's grandfather killed your mother, and the family covered it. Up. Robert knew who was driving that car, and he never said anything. That's the real reason they adopted you. Guilt. Money. I can't breathe. The people who raised me knew their own family member killed my mother, and they never told me. They let me grow up thinking it was just a random accident. There's more, Ms. Chen continues. Kevin Sr. is still alive. He's been living in Florida for the past 20 years, and Robert has been sending him money to stay quiet. We can't prosecute him for the accident because too much time has passed, Sophia says. But we can expose the truth. We can make sure. Everyone knows what really happened to Elena. I think about Kevin slashing my tires, about Melody demanding to live in my house, about Susan trying to guilt me into giving them money. They've been living with this secret my entire life. Every time they looked at me, they knew their family killed my mother. Do it, I say. Tell everyone the truth. Are you sure? This will destroy their family. I look around at my grandmother's house, my house, filled with pictures of me and the woman who really loved me. I think about my mother dying to save my life, and how the Thompsons profited from her death. They destroyed mine first. The story breaks on a Tuesday morning. Sophia's lawyer leaked everything to the local newspaper: the stolen trust fund, the covered-up accident, the blood money payments to Kevin Sr. in Florida. The headline reads, "Local family covered up fatal. Hit and run for 26 years." I'm reading the article online when my phone starts ringing. It's Susan. "How could you do this to us?" she screams into the phone. Her voice is so loud I have to hold the phone away from my ear. "We raised you. We loved you. You stole from me. Your father-in-law killed my mother. That was an accident. Kevin Sr. made a mistake." A mistake? He was drunk. He killed a pregnant woman and drove away. We were protecting you from the truth. No, you were protecting yourselves from the consequences. I hang up and turn off my phone. An hour later, Detective Morrison calls on my landline. "Nora, you need to be careful. Robert Thompson just got arrested for fraud and theft. His family is pretty angry right now." Arrested? The evidence your aunt's lawyer provided was solid. He's being charged with stealing $125,000 from your trust fund. Susan might be charged, too, depending on what we find. That evening, I'm sitting in my garden when I hear shouting from the street. Through the fence, I can see Melody and Kevin standing on the sidewalk. Other neighbors are coming out of their houses to see what's happening. "Come out here, you ungrateful witch," Melody yells. Her face is red and twisted with anger. "You destroyed our family. Your dad's in jail because of you," Kevin shouts. He picks up a rock from the street and throws it at my house. It hits the front window but doesn't break it. I don't respond. I just keep watering my grandmother's flowers like nothing is happening. "We know you're in there," Melody screams. "You can't hide forever." Mrs. Kim comes out of her house with her arms crossed. "Hey, keep it down or I'm calling the police." "Mind your own business, old lady," Kevin snaps. That's when I stand up. Nobody talks to Mrs. Kim like that. I walk to the fence. "Leave, now." "Or what?" Melody challenges. She puts her hands on her hips like she's ready for a fight. "Or I'll call the police and tell them you're violating the restraining order I filed yesterday." Kevin's face goes white. "You got a restraining order against us?" "Stay away from my house, my job, and me. If you come within 500 feet of me again, you'll join your father in jail." They leave, but Melody turns back one more time. "This isn't over, Nora. You'll pay for what you've done to our family." 2 days later, I'm at the grocery store when a woman approaches me. She's about 60 with gray hair and kind eyes. She looks nervous, like she's not sure if she should be talking to me. "Are you Nora Martinez?" I tense up, ready to run if this is another angry Thompson family member. "I'm Margaret Walsh. I was Elena's best friend in high school." My body relaxes. "You knew my mother?" "I loved your mother. She was like a sister to me." Margaret starts crying right there in the cereal aisle. "I've been wanting to find you for so many years, but I didn't know how. When I saw the newspaper article, I knew it was finally time." We sit in the coffee shop inside the grocery store, and Margaret tells me stories about my mother that I've never heard. Elena was an artist, just like you. She painted the most beautiful landscapes. She always said she wanted to have a daughter who would paint with her. Margaret shows me pictures on her phone. My mother at prom, laughing with friends. My mother painting by a lake, her face peaceful and focused. My mother holding her pregnant belly, glowing with happiness. She talked about you constantly those last few months. She had your whole life planned out. Art classes, trips to museums, painting vacations. She was going to be the most amazing mother. I wish I could have known her. You did know her. Every time you pick up a paintbrush, you're channeling Elena's spirit. Every time you show kindness to someone, you're being your mother's daughter. Margaret reaches into her purse. "I have something for you. Elena gave it to me the week before she died. She said if anything ever happened to her, I should make sure you got it." It's a small canvas painting of a sunrise over mountains. The colors are soft and beautiful, like something from a dream. At the bottom, in my mother's handwriting, it says, "For my daughter, may your life be full of beautiful mornings. Love, Mama." I start crying right there in the grocery store coffee shop. "She painted this for you when she was 7 months pregnant. She said she wanted you to have something made by her hands, something that came from her heart." That night, I hang my mother's painting above my bed. For the first time in my life, I feel connected to someone who shares my blood, my DNA, my soul. The next week brings more revelations. Sophia calls me with updates on the legal case. Robert's lawyer is trying to make a deal. He wants to pay back the money in exchange for reduced charges. What about Susan? She's claiming she didn't know about the trust fund theft, but we found bank records showing suspicious deposits into her personal account for years. And Kevin Sr.? That's the big news. The police in Florida arrested him yesterday. Turns out he's been driving drunk regularly for the past 20 years. They're charging him with your mother's death under the cold case statute. I feel a strange mix of satisfaction and sadness. Justice for my mother, but 26 years too late. There's something else, Sophia continues. We found more family. Elena and I have cousins in California and Texas. They've been looking for you too. More family. Real family. People who share my blood and might understand why I've always felt like an outsider. They want to meet you. Would you be interested in a family reunion? For the first time in weeks, I smile. Yes, I'd love that. After I hang up, I walk through my house, the house my grandmother left me, the house where my mother spent her childhood summers, the house that's been in my family for 3 generations. I'm not alone anymore. I have aunts and cousins who want to know me. I have neighbors who care about me. I have a community that accepts me. And I have the truth. My phone rings one more time. It's an unknown number, but something tells me to answer it. Is this Nora Martinez? Yes. This is Father Miguel from St. Catherine's Church. I performed your mother's funeral service 26 years ago. I saw the newspaper article and I wanted to call you. Oh. Your mother's grave has been unmarked all these years because no one knew how to contact her family. Rose asked me to wait until you were ready. Would you like to visit her? My mother has a grave. A real place where I can go to talk to her. Yes, Father. I'd like that very much. The next morning, I drive to St. Catherine's Cemetery with Sophia and Margaret. We bring flowers. Sunflowers, because Margaret says they were Elena's favorite. The headstone is simple but beautiful. Elena Rosewood Martinez. Beloved daughter, mother, and friend. She died giving life. I kneel down and touch the stone. It's warm from the sun and smooth under my fingers. Hi, Mama. I'm sorry it took me so long to find you. The wind picks up, rustling the trees around us, and for just a moment, I swear I can feel my mother's presence. She's proud of me. I can feel it. As we're leaving the cemetery, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is your cousin Maria from California. Sophia gave me your number. We can't wait to meet you. We're planning a trip to see you next month. Welcome to the real Martinez family. I look back at my mother's grave one more time, then at the 2 women who loved her, and now love me. I'm not the unwanted adopted daughter anymore. I'm Elena's daughter. I'm Rose's granddaughter. I'm part of the Martinez family. And for the first time in my entire life, I truly belong somewhere. 3 months later, I'm hosting my first real family gathering. My house is full of Martinez cousins, aunts, and uncles who flew in from all over the country. The dining room table that used to seat just me and Grandma Rose now holds 12 people who share my eyes, my smile, my artistic hands. My cousin. Maria brought photo albums spanning 4 generations of Martinez women. We all look alike. The same dark hair, the same strong cheekbones, the same way of tilting our heads when we laugh. Elena would be so happy, says my great-aunt Carmen, who's 85 and knew my great-grandmother. Her voice is soft and shaky, but her eyes are bright. She always worried that you'd grow up not knowing where you came from. I did grow up not knowing, I say, passing around the green beans. But I know now. Uncle Roberto, Sophia's husband, raises his glass of wine to Nora, who found her way home. To Elena, everyone responds together, and to Rose. After dinner, while everyone's sharing stories in the living room, Detective Morrison calls. I have news about your case, he says. Kevin Sr. pled guilty to vehicular manslaughter and leaving the scene of an accident. He got 15 years. 15 years? It would have been more, but he's 73 and in poor health. He also agreed to pay restitution to Elena's estate. Another $300,000. After I hang up, Sophia comes into the kitchen where I'm washing dishes. Good news? Justice, finally. Kevin Sr. is going to prison. How do you feel about it? I think for a moment, drying a plate with one of Grandma Rose's old towels. Relieved. Not happy exactly, but complete. Like this chapter is finally finished. And Robert and Susan? Robert pled guilty to fraud and theft. He got 5 years and has to pay back everything with interest. Susan got probation and community service, but she has to stay away from me. Sophia nods and starts drying dishes beside me. What about Kevin and Melody? That's the complicated part. Over the past few months, I've had time to think about the two people I grew up believing were my siblings. They were victims too, in a way. They grew up in a house built on lies and guilt money. That doesn't excuse how they treated me, but I understand it better now. Have they tried to contact you? Kevin did once. He left a voicemail apologizing and asking if we could talk. I haven't called him back yet. Do you want to? Maybe someday, but not yet. I need more time. The next morning, after all my cousins leave for the airport, I sit in my garden with my morning coffee and think about how much has changed. 6 months ago, I was the unwanted adopted daughter who buried her grandmother alone. Now I'm surrounded by family who loves me, living in a house that's been in my bloodline for generations, with enough money to follow my dreams. But the biggest change isn't external. It's internal. I know who I am now. My phone rings. It's Mr. Pemberton. Nora, I have one last thing from your grandmother's estate. She left specific instructions that I wasn't supposed to give it to you until after you'd met your Martinez family. What? Is it? A letter. Can you come to my office today? An hour later, I'm sitting in Mr. Pemberton's office, holding the final letter from Grandma Rose. The envelope is thick, like there are many pages inside. My dearest Nora, it begins. If you're reading this, then you've learned the truth about your mother, met your real family, and hopefully found some peace with your past. I want you to know that every decision I made was to protect you. I could have told you the truth when you were younger, but I was afraid it would hurt you more than help you. I wanted you to have some stability, even if it wasn't perfect. The letter continues. I know that Robert and Susan disappointed you. They disappointed me too. I thought that paying them would make them love you, but I learned too late that love can't be bought. However, I don't regret asking them to raise you, because it brought you to me. You have been the light of my life for 26 years. Every Saturday we spent together, every conversation we had, every moment I got to watch you grow into the amazing woman you are today. Those were the happiest moments of my life. But now it's time for you to write your own story. Use the money I left you to follow your dreams. Travel to see your family. Create beautiful art. Find love. Build a life that makes you happy. At the bottom, there's a final message. P.S. Check the basement. There's one more surprise waiting for you. I rush home and go straight to the basement, which I've been using for storage. In the far corner, behind some old furniture, I find a door I never noticed before. It's painted the same color as the wall, so it blends in perfectly. The door leads to a small room that's been converted into an art studio. The walls are covered with paintings. Dozens and dozens of paintings that look like my work, but aren't. They're my mother's paintings. Grandma Rose saved every single piece of art my mother ever created. Landscapes, portraits, abstract pieces, sketches. 24 years of artistic evolution, from childhood drawings to mature masterpieces. On the easel in the center of the room is an unfinished painting of a baby's nursery. My nursery. the nursery my mother was preparing before she died. I sit down in front of the easel and cry, not from sadness, but from overwhelming gratitude. My mother was an artist, just like me. We share the same vision, the same way of seeing, color and light and beauty. I'm not just Elena's daughter by blood. I'm Elena's daughter by soul. That evening, I call Kevin. He answers on the first ring. Nora? Hi, Kevin. I didn't think you'd call me back. I wasn't sure I would either. We're quiet for a moment. Then Kevin says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. The way we treated you, the things we said, missing Grandma's funeral. All of it. I know you are. I didn't know about Grandpa Kevin and your mom. Dad never told us. When it came out in the newspaper, I threw up. I literally threw up when I realized what our family did to you. You were kids, Kevin. You didn't know. But we should have been nicer to you anyway. You were our sister, and we made you feel like an outsider in your own home. I think about this. I wasn't your sister, though. That's what I've learned. I was a stranger your parents were paid to raise. You and Melody treated me the way your parents treated me, like I didn't really belong. Do you hate us? No, I don't hate you. But I can't pretend we're family either. I understand. But Nora? Yeah? I'm glad you found your real family. I'm glad you're happy. You deserve to be happy. After we hang up, I realize that Kevin's call was exactly what I needed to close this chapter of my life. He apologized, he acknowledged the harm, and most importantly, he let me go. I walk through my house one more time, looking at my mother's paintings now hanging next to my own. Tomorrow I'm flying to California to spend a month with my Martinez cousins. Next year I'm planning a trip to Spain to see where our family originally came from. But tonight, I'm exactly where I belong. I pour myself a glass of wine and sit in Grandma Rose's favorite chair with the box of birthday letters she left me. I still have 33 unopened letters, one for each birthday she'll miss. I open the one marked 28th birthday, 1 year later. My dear girl, it begins. I hope by now you understand that everything I did was because I loved you. You were never a burden, never unwanted, never anything less than the greatest joy of my life. Your mother would be so proud of the woman you've become. Strong, kind, talented, brave. You are everything she hoped you would be. Remember that love isn't about blood or DNA or legal documents. Love is about choice. I chose to love you every single day for 26 years. Your Martinez. Family chooses to love you now, and someday, someone special will choose to love you forever. You are not the girl who was abandoned or rejected or made to feel less than. You are the girl who was so precious that a woman gave her life to save you. You are the girl who was so special that an old lady built her whole world around you. You are the girl who found her way home. Happy birthday, my beautiful granddaughter. I love you always. I close the letter and look around my house, my home, filled with evidence of a life well lived and deeply loved. For 26 years, I thought I was the unwanted daughter who didn't belong anywhere. Now I know the truth. I am Elena's miracle, baby, Rose's greatest joy, and the newest branch on a family tree that spans generations. I am exactly where I was always meant to be. I am home. And that's how I learned that sometimes the family who hurts us the most teaches us who we really are. Sometimes we have to lose everything to find ourselves. Nora found her real family. She found justice. Most importantly, she found home. I hope this story reminds you that you belong somewhere too, that you matter, that you deserve love and kindness. Speaking of kindness, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop your city or country, in the comments below. It always makes my day to see how far these stories travel. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps spread these messages of hope to more people who might need to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Every subscription helps us share more stories about courage, family, and finding where you belong. There's another incredible story waiting for you right now. Click on the video appearing on your screen to keep the inspiration going. Thank you for listening. Remember, you are loved, you matter, and you belong. Until next time, keep spreading kindness.